Summer is here, and we're here to help you find ways to keep your cooling costs down.
Welcome to Front and Center, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on government operations, offering you an exclusive glimpse into the inner workings of the city of Statesville.
Welcome to Front and Center. I'm here today with my fabulous co-host, Nikayla Griffin.
Hello.
And today we have Jason Lee with us. He is the Business Development Specialist for the Electric Utilities Department, and he is going to tell us all about how to keep those cooling costs down. And before we even get started, Jason, I cannot keep my thermostat on 75 degrees, so please don't tell me to keep my thermostat on 75 degrees in this conversation, okay?
Yeah, we might want to skip over one of the questions then.
That did not go over well with our social media presence when we posted that online, so we're going to leave that one alone. Okay. But welcome. We're so happy that you're here, and we want to hear all your ideas about what we can do in our homes to keep our cooling costs down, because my air conditioner is running nonstop with this heat right now.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's is. And definitely want to say thank you for having me. I hope I can help out, give some tips and tricks for people to help lower their bills this summer and just make everyone happier.
Absolutely. It makes me happier if my bills are lower. So.
Right. We'll take it.
All right. So let's start out with, what is energy efficiency? What does it really mean, and why is it important to our homeowners here in the city?
Yeah. So I like to define energy efficiency as simply using less power to get the same job done. If you can think about during the summer, especially it's really hot, if you can run your AC unit for only 10 minutes to reach your desired temperature compared to a unit that would run 30 minutes to reach your desired temperature, obviously that's going to be more efficient. Efficiency for customers simply is going to mean lower bills primarily. So the less you can run your power, the lower your bill is going to be and the happier you're going to be. Right. But also there's other benefits. You're emitting less greenhouse gases, you're reducing the demand on the grid, which can help lower costs for everybody all around. And just, like I said, the main thing is just the lowering of the bill, though.
And that's what a lot of us are looking for. So
yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome. So what are some surprising ways people can save energy at home that they may not be aware of right now?
So I did a little research into this for ones that I didn't even know about, and there's actually a long list of different options. So, obviously you can start with sealing the gaps and cracks in your home.
Good.
You can utilize power strips. This is something that was kind of new to me. I didn't realize that, devices plugged in will constantly draw power. So if you can use those power strips and turn them off when you're not using those devices, it'll help lower your consumption. Upgrading appliances. I recently bought a fixer-upper maybe a year or so ago, and that's one of the first things we did because our appliances were just sucking energy. So upgrading appliances to more efficient ones obviously is going to be a huge change. During the summer especially, I like to use ceiling fans. Ceiling fans help circulate your air-conditioned air, so it helps bring the cooler air down and circulate it throughout your home, which makes it feel better, so your unit, you don't maybe have to lower the temperature as much. LED lights is one that people don't even think about. Typically, older homes have incandescent bulbs, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but LED lights are just overall going to be more efficient, which will give you an immediate change on your electric bill, lowering it. And then on with that, using natural light and ventilation in your home. So I like to open the blinds during the day so we're not having lights on in the house. Just use the natural sunlight to light up our home. And then obviously probably not now because it's almost 100 degrees, but when you can, if you can open your windows, ventilate, it helps with the humidity when it's not humid outside, but then also letting some of the cooler air in or warmer air out. So
that's good.
And then that's honestly my big ones. You can do things like landscaping or even drying your clothes outside, especially during the summer. Hanging clothes outside, running that dryer less will definitely help too.
You taking us back to the old school, huh?
Hey, that's the way my aunt did it.
I know. Hey, I'm telling you, that's a great way. We used to dry our clothes on.
Yeah, we had clothes on. Absolutely. So you talked about sealing gaps around doors and windows and how that affects your energy usage. What do we do for that? Do you just go to Lowe's and buy stuff?
Yeah, so, obviously you can shop anywhere. You can look even on Amazon, but Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, any of your hardware stores will have a wide variety of different options, and they all have their different use cases. So you can do things like weather stripping around your doors and your windows. It helps reduce the amount of air that leaks out or the air that comes in. So whether that be hot or cold, in or out, it helps. For some of the larger cracks, I've used spray foam insulation.
I've seen my husband use that before.
Yeah, it's really great. You just spray a little bit in there, it expands, fills the gap. And again, reduces some of that airflow. You can also use window film. A lot of people are unaware of that, so it's just
Didn't even know about that.
I particularly like it during the winter.
Is that like a cling on or something?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like press and seal wrap.
Okay,
So you put it
okay.
on your home, and it just creates an extra layer of protection from the heat or the cold, either going in or out of your home.
Good to know.
Those are really the big ones. You can also do like door thresholds and things like that to reduce drafts.
Okay. So I know you're kind of handy. You said you got a fixer-upper. So what's your favorite DIY project for improving the home's efficiency?
Yeah, so that window film I told you
Okay.
about, it's super easy. Literally all you need is the window film and a hairdryer. You put it on your window, use the hairdryer to make it tight, and it creates an immediate barrier between your home and the outside around your windows. I especially like to use it during the winter because we get a lot of shade at our house, so summer we're not getting as much of that direct heat coming in. It is good for that, but during the winter I notice a lot of cold air coming through the window area, and just adding that film, it just creates an extra barrier, and it definitely reduces the amount of time I have to run my heat in the winter.
That sounds like a
I
project
think
for
we can
kids.
actually do that.
I know. We're going to put the kids to
put our
work.
kids to work. Yeah, that is for sure.
That is.
Make them pay their rent, you know?
Yeah. Hey,
Exactly
they got to
right.
do something.
All right, so energy assessments. I know that some cities offer this, and you'll go out and you will assess a person's home and tell them what they can do. Do we offer that here?
Yeah, we absolutely do. We partner with Electricities, and we have a representative who works with us directly. We come out, the Electricities representative, myself, and we'll tour your home. We'll give you a very comprehensive breakdown of ways that you can reduce your energy usage and then lower your bill, as well as just provide recommendations all around for, larger projects as well. So that's one thing I really like is they kind of break it down with easy, cheaper options that you can do for an immediate result, or if you're looking to do a whole home energy efficiency overhaul, they give options for that as well.
And this is free to our customers.
It is, yeah.
Electric utilities customers. And info@statesvillenc.net. If you want to talk to Jason about that, we'll get all the emails to him for that. So, but we'll talk about that again at the end, but just want to put that out there.
Yeah,
that it is free. I mean, and you
It
will
is.
schedule a time.
It is
That's
100%
amazing. I
free.
love that. Okay.
That's awesome. So what should consumers look for when purchasing energy efficient appliances?
So this is, again, something else I did a little bit of research on. There's a whole list of different options or different things to look for. I picked out some of the main ones. Energy Star ratings is going to be one of your big ones.
Okay.
It's typically labeled right on the appliance. It's a nationally recognized rating, and the better the rating is, the more efficient it's going to be, which, again, is going to be a lower bill.
Right.
Energy efficiency rating, I know it sounds very similar, but each appliance has its own efficiency rating. So, obviously, the more efficient that rating is, the less electricity it's going to use to operate.
Okay.
One that really stands out to me is size and capacity. Basically, what that means is don't buy an appliance that's too large for your use case. Try and get something that's fitting for your home, especially with like HVAC systems. If you get a too large of a unit or too small of a unit, it'll either run more, or you may need to run it at different times in order to condition the air properly. And then features. Nowadays, a lot of different appliances have energy efficiency features, whether that be like delayed start or eco mode or things like that. So any of those different options there will get you on a good start to finding the efficient appliances.
That's good.
And you may pay a little more upfront for these.
Right.
Yes.
But it's going to pay off in the end. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
And that's another thing I came across is you can actually do a lifetime savings study. So yes, it may be more upfront, but if you factor in the consumption of the appliance and the how long that appliance will last, you can really figure out at what point you'll break even, per se, and then when you'll start saving money.
Gotcha.
That's good.
All right. So we're talking about energy efficient appliances. What about rebate programs? Does the city offer this? I mean, what appliances are, if you do, are they covered? I mean, which ones are covered?
Yeah, this is another partnership we have with Electricities to help process this. We do offer rebates for residential and industrial and commercial customers. On the residential side, you're looking at water heater rebates and HVAC system, or more specifically, heat pump rebates. So there are some criteria you have to meet for those replacement items. All that's listed on our website. I strongly recommend checking that out. You can reach out to me, and I can give you information as well. But for water heater rebates, as long as it meets the criteria, you're looking at a check for $150.
Wow. Okay.
Good.
And
We'll
then
take it.
Absolutely.
The heat pumps are more expensive, but I mean, you're looking at up to $400 rebate
But you're,
as
you're
well.
getting a rebate and you're saving energy.
Yeah.
You're saving all that money in the long run. So it does make sense to do it that
absolutely.
way. I agree
and
with that.
I did want to say the residential and industrial customers, this one I don't really see taken advantage of as much, but we offer a LED rebate program. So any kind of industrial commercial customer that upfits their office or businesses with LED lights, you can get up to $20,000 depending on how much you're
That is amazing,
reducing
yeah.
your,
Amazing.
your wattage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah,
Help me get
for
some,
sure.
some coins.
Open a business, you know.
Right.
My favorite
So,
question.
Listen, I grew up, my great grandmother, she didn't believe in turning the air on. We used to have it like we would
remember
go
those days.
in one size and come out another size because we would be so hot. It would be like a sauna. I'm like, oh my God. So what is the recommended thermostat setting for the summer, like to keep energy saving?
Go ahead and say it.
don't burn us up, but just
Go
help
ahead
us
and say it.
out.
So I never like answering this question.
It
Just
might be
saying
some
up
childhood
front.
trauma right
You
here when
got
you
me
say
burned
it.
up on social media with this
Yeah.
right here. So I'm gonna let you take the hot seat on this one.
And I'll be completely honest with you. I have a different preference. I like to be at a certain temperature, but the recommendation is 78 degrees. Yes, I know it may feel hot, but like I said earlier, use
Yeah.
those fans
That's
to
true.
circulate the
That's
air,
true.
make it feel a little bit cooler. But 78 during the summer when you're at home, and then if you can either raise it even more when you're not at home or turn it off completely, it helps. I definitely recommend a smart thermostat for situations like that because
Okay.
you can precondition your air before you get home to start lowering it back
need one
down
of
to that
those.
temperature.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I just
I remember
recently
this
got one.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
got it.
that I've heard about those, and that's very interesting. Something we should invest in. But 78 is high, but you think about it, it's been almost 100 degrees. And I don't care what people say. When you run in and out from the hot to the cold like that,
Yeah.
I got sick from it.
Yeah.
It started a whole
Head
issue
cold,
with me.
yeah,
Yes. So 20 degrees difference from outside to inside, even at 78, that's still
Right.
20 degrees cooler than outside. So I mean, I complain about the 78 because I
just hot.
can't stand to be hot. So
I feel you on
Yeah.
that one.
I whine a lot, and yeah, we'll leave that alone.
You'll have a hospital bill and a high energy bill if you get it too low. Because you're going to be sick. But hey, thank you. That was good.
But, oh, man. All right,
Yeah.
let's talk about these LED lights you were talking about, the traditional incandescent bulbs. What's the difference? What's the big deal here?
So I actually did a little bit of math on my end before I came here. Just wanted to point out, so a 60 watt incandescent bulb, which is kind of like your average wattage for a bulb, if you ran that or had it turned on in your house for 1 hour per day, every day for a year, you're looking at that one particular light bulb costing about $2 a year. Whereas
I could leave it on all year.
you could.
I can actually afford
Right. We can
that.
afford that.
But the LED light, if you did a 60 watt LED light and did the exact same circumstances, 1 hour per day, every day for a year, it's only 33 cents per
Holy
year.
moly.
yeah.
Well, let's change
Come
your
on,
bulbs.
LED, all day
We
long.
need all new bulbs.
We do.
And-
We're going to Lowe's after this April.
For real. Home Depot.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
Harbor Freight, we got you.
And if you can imagine, I mean, most homes have, dozens of light bulbs and you're on for at least, 5, 6, 8 hours a day, depending on how long you're home. So that can really add up.
I don't think
Yeah.
you have kids yet.
Not yet.
But when you have kids, they'll stay on 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
They'll
just
leave
know
their
this.
chargers in the wall too. We
Yes.
forgot about
I'm sure
that.
she'll watch this, but my
Yeah.
wife likes to leave lights on.
Oh, you're going to get in
okay,
trouble.
Okay, Miss Kristen, you need to turn those lights
Yeah,
out.
turn the lights off.
I constantly go behind her and flip them off. So.
Yeah.
Because you're so aware of all
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah,
though,
exactly.
When you're not thinking about it, but this is what you do.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
so you're very aware of all
Before
of
I
this.
took on this role, I absolutely would not have thought about it. So.
Wow, that's good. Okay. So what are off-peak hours and how does running major appliances during these times benefit the power grid?
First of all, tell us what about the power
Yeah,
grid. Because,
yeah.
I mean, most people, they don't really understand how all that works. I don't know the ins and outs. I know when we have a power outage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, the power grid is every power line that connects to every home, to every business. And it goes all the way back to the generation of that power. So we're limited to the amount of power that we can generate from our resources that we get our power from, which thankfully we're very lucky. We have a large share in a nuclear facility that produces the majority of our power, and we're pretty good as far as like our overall load that we can handle. But if you can imagine, the more people you put on that grid, the more you're going to start to reach that capacity. And it really starts to play an effect whenever you're on on peak hours or off peak hours. So Off-peak hours, I would say, are just any time whenever the grid itself is under less strain. I think it might be easier to define more of on-peak hours. I would say on-peak hours, the main one that I think of is between 5 and 7 p.m.
Okay.
Everyone's home. They're
Exactly.
cooking.
Cooking,
they're doing the laundry, a little bit of everything.
true.
I mean, you're doing everything at that time.
Like I said, I mean, if you get home, you turn your air down, you start your laundry, you turn on your oven to start cooking,
yeah.
you know, maybe you're running the vacuum cleaner or something, doing your chores. So all this adds up. And if you factor in, you know, the thousands and thousands of people that are on a grid at any time, you know, if everyone's doing it all at the same time, that's going to put a strain on the grid. So, I mean, there's ways to reduce the amount of strain on the grid. You can run some of your larger appliances during off-peak hours, so either after 7 p.m. or during the middle of the day if you work from home is great. I will say that there are some utilities that have to
Stay on.
yeah, and then unfortunately, like I know there are some utilities that have to do what's called a brownout during high peak hours, and
Is that
basically
kind of like those rolling outages?
it is.
Okay.
So it's a rolling outage to reduce the load on the grid.
Right.
Fortunately, we have not had to worry about that in Statesville. But, you know, as we continue to grow and more people are on the grid, if, you know, you can start to just transition into running those larger appliances during the off-grid or off-peak times, then it would reduce the chances of anything like that happening.
That's good. That's really good.
Yep.
That's good information. I mean, you don't think about it, but I mean, I can't imagine how many people are.
I know.
I mean, I guess you could like start your dishwasher at bedtime. Do not put your clothes in the dryer at bedtime.
Right.
The fire chief will get me if I tell you to put the dryer on when you go to bed.
Yeah.
But you know, things like that because they don't like for you to do that stuff.
Right.
You don't want to have a fire in your dryer when you're sleeping. So
Yeah,
just like don't leave it on when you're not
I
there.
like the delay start on my dishwasher. I'll run it in the middle of the night, never hear it.
You really
never
do
bother.
get a lot of nice appliances for this house you bought.
Yeah.
Goodness. You know who my dishwasher is? My husband.
Yeah. Well, I'm the dishwasher for the house. Of course, I'm
Gotcha.
going to get a good dishwasher.
Right. I get it.
Right. I'm just kidding, Tommy. I know I do dishes occasionally. All right, so in this job, you do a lot of different things. Tell us some funny stories, because we always have to have the funny stuff. I know you also do street lights. That's always... People go crazy if their street light goes out, but they have
They
to...
do.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but tell us some of your funny stories. We love funny stories.
You sent me this question ahead of time, and I tried to think of some good stories on it. I would say there's one situation we were doing an energy audit, and this it was an older couple. The lady could not figure out why her electric bill was going up. We gave her the recommendation about her thermostat and everything, and she's like doing everything by the book. And we recommended, you know, maybe getting a smart thermostat. You can track it. You can see where your temperature is going. And she ended up doing that. And come to find out, she was able to see that during the day, her husband would go behind her and turn it up or down.
Oh my God.
She immediately reached out and just explained that and like thanked us for, you know, basically catching her husband in
He
the
is
act.
so mad at you right now. You know you're on a bad list of his. So
Yeah.
that smart meter, whatever
But
it's
she's
called.
on.
Yeah,
We're on her good list. So,
that's
you know,
exactly right.
that's-
She
that's
probably
what-
pays the bills.
She runs the
writes
household.
the
I'm
checks.
sure,
Yeah.
sure,
so-
so.
I have a funny story for you, though. I just got it, though, and it's funny because one of the elderly ladies that live in the community, she was like, "This street light doesn't work." And I'm like, okay. So, you know, I was going to give you a call, but I had drove by and I saw that the street light did work. And so I called her the next day. I was like, "Ma'am, the street light works. Can I ask you what time you go to bed?" She said, "I go to bed by 6:30.
Oh, goodness.
I said, "Ma'am, unfortunately, the light works." And you might have to stay up a little longer just to see. So I just want you to know I avoided that call for you.
Thank
You know,
you.
I got your back, but I was like, there's no way that street light doesn't work. But yeah, she was like, "I go to bed by 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'm like, "Well, what time do you wake up?" It should still be on by the time you wake up. Yeah, so yeah, that was just funny. I was like, I was going to call you. Actually, I got that call last week, and I was like, let me see.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Yeah, honestly, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
People just call and say they're out. That's my favorite is when they call and leave a message, and I get it the next day. They say, "My street light's not working," and then the same number calls back less than 2 minutes
Yeah.
later, and like, "Oh, actually, never mind, it's on now."
Yeah.
So,
Well, I know you get lots of street light questions, and it's not just regular. You can also have street lights put in your backyard. I mean, these big purple lights. They're all purple now. Are they all purple? There's
not,
one in my yard that's purple, so that's why I always think these LED lights are now purple. So I mean, what are you guys putting out there?
They're white LED lights.
Okay.
Now, sometimes some of the lights in it themselves, like the individual diodes, will start to go out, and it may look purple, may look blue,
I
things
think that's
like
what's
that.
going on with mine.
So, I mean, we replace them, no cost. So just give us a call, we'll get it replaced.
But your street light program, if you want to have one put in your backyard, give us a little information about that. I know I wasn't going to talk about this, but we've talked about energy efficiency, but street lights are very important, and people
Right.
always ask questions about this, so I want to see if you could throw that in there.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say the biggest factor with putting a security light in your backyard is going to be is if we can access it and if we can make sure we can service it. There's been situations in the past where they'll put a pole in someone's backyard, and then whenever we go to service it, the crews just can't get back there. And so we're really trying to make sure that it fits for the customer and it fits for us.
So don't go planting trees and flowers around that pole back there.
No.
Oh, okay,
No,
gotcha.
we need to be able to access it.
Right.
But I mean, it's great if we have the ability to get back there. You know, you get a light. There's a monthly cost for it, depending on what size light you pick and what type you pick.
Okay.
And
What's the least expensive to the most expensive? Just give
Least-
me an average.
least expensive is $10, and the most expensive is $25-ish dollars. But
Okay.
obviously, as you go more expensive, you get a much brighter light,
Oh,
cover
yeah,
more
I
area.
like to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't need that much light in the house.
We have had, I say feuding calls, but they're not really feuding calls. But like we'll put in a light for a customer, and then their neighbor will call
Oh,
saying they can't
no.
see at night.
Yeah.
So we'll go out and we'll make some adjustments, and then the first person says, you know, the light's not working anymore, and it's just this back and forth. So I mean, we work really hard to make sure everyone surrounded by the light is happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We
there
do
are situations
not get a
you
lot
just
of complaints on you guys. I mean, I will tell you that. I'm like, everyone knows I'm in public information. I'm Complaint Central. Obviously, you are in the PD.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, anytime I get a call, I send it to you. I never hear anything more about it. I know you're going to handle it and take care of it, and I appreciate that very
Absolutely.
much. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add about energy efficiency that we have not talked about? Anything more you can think about?
Not anything that I can think about. Just, want to stress, especially right now while it's, almost 100 degrees outside, just any step you can take to lower your energy usage is going to help you in the long run. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, concerns about your bill. We're here to help.
What's your phone number? Not your personal cell, your office number.
I'd have to look that up.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You can email Jason at
Yes.
jlee@statesvillenc.net, or you could also email info@statesvillenc.net, and that comes to me, and I will get that to Jason if you're interested. Michaela, we wanted to give a shout out today.
yes.
Give a shout out because we had some fill-in for our
know.
last episode, and they were amazing.
Listen, we want to give a big shout out to Ron Smith, our city manager, Chief Curfeys, who is at the fire department, and David Only, who is at the police department. You guys did an amazing job. You made us proud.
Very
we
proud.
appreciate you guys.
We're going to have you back on next episode.
Yes.
Just kidding. We're not going to bring you back that soon.
Thank you.
We appreciate you joining in today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're here to help with all of your energy efficiency questions. Thank you.
Tune in to the next episode as we share our dedication to transparency, public service, and governance, shining a spotlight on our commitment to keeping you well informed about all things City of Statesville.